Yo, you beautiful people. My name is Reese Jones, and I want to talk about what to do when you're burned out from running. This is something I've dealt with plenty, and I have a couple good tips that's going to help you get back your motivation to run again. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Reese Jones. I'm an ultra runner. I'm on a mission to help people stay injury free and get fitter faster. I've ran 10 marathons in 10 days, a couple 100-mile races. I've set a couple course records at ultras, so I know a little bit about what I'm talking about. I don't know it all, but I'm hoping to help you avoid some of the mistakes I've made. So let's talk about what to do when you're burned out from running. I have three things that I think can help, and this isn't necessarily going to motivate you back into running. If you want some motivation, I have some videos on that, but I want to talk about what should you do if you're truly just burned out. And let's just get into it. So the first tip I have is just call yourself a bitch for not getting after it. Sometimes this gets me to go for a run, but if this fails and this doesn't motivate you to get back out there, then maybe you're truly burned out. But I'll call myself a bitch, tell myself to get after it, that I'm being a pussy. If that doesn't work, then maybe I'm truly burned out. So we're going to move on to the other tips. So if you are burned out from running, I found biking is amazing. This is all error from the last video. So biking is amazing. I think it's a good cross training exercise, and you can maintain some of your fitness. Ultra runner pros who are like injured bike, people who are injured in general bike to maintain fitness. It's a good cardio aerobic fitness, and you could do some speed tempo type stuff in that as well if you need that. I think biking's great, and you could replace your volume. Let's say you're burned out and you're not injured and just want to stay healthy and try and maintain your running fitness as best you can before until you get motivated again. I think biking is an amazing option for that. If you don't like biking, or maybe you want to look at some other things, another thing I'd recommend is strength training. Strength training is absolutely amazing for me. I think it's amazing. I just think it's awesome to lift and move heavy shit. And I do this even when I'm running. But if I'm burned out or taking a break from running, I definitely spend a lot of time in the gym because it still gives me something to do. I get to vent out my frustrations and get after it. And personally, for me, this isn't the only type of strength training you can do, but for me, I like high weight, low rep. So I think technically high weight, low rep workouts is like 1 to 3 reps. But for me, as someone who's a little bit more of an endurance athlete, I like doing things that is heavy enough that I can keep good form, but I'm within that 4 to 8 rep range, sometimes higher, sometimes lower, depending on the exercise. But you'll figure that out as you get more comfortable with lifting weights. I think this is a great option when you're burned out from running because it's going to get you stronger. I like putting on weight. I like looking as huge as possible. And so putting on that muscle is great. And so strength training is amazing. It's something you should do if you're a runner and you want to stay healthy. But let's say you're burned out and need to find some other ways to exercise and stay healthy. I think strength training is an amazing option. And then the next thing I would bring up, and the last thing I'll talk about on this video, is yoga. So yoga is incredible. It is different than stretching. I think the big difference between yoga and stretching is the breathing aspect. So I'm no scientist. I don't know a study on what makes it different or why it's different. But for me, how I differentiate the two is if you're stretching, you're just kind of sitting there, standing there, maybe doing some dynamic movements. But for me, yoga is when I'm breathing through things, holding poses longer, or you're maybe doing a more vinyasa flow where you're moving through things. So the two types of yoga I'd recommend if you're not used to yoga yet is either yin yoga, which is where you're holding poses for like 3 to 5 minutes, so you're staying in one pose for a while, very deep stretch, or a vinyasa flow type of class where this is you're flowing through things. You are going to hold poses for a while, but you're doing more movements, moving from one pose to the next, sometimes faster. Not as you're not holding poses as long as you are in yin yoga. So maybe you could YouTube vinyasa flows or maybe yin yoga, and that is, you could find that on YouTube, Google, or maybe you have a studio nearby that does some of these. But these are the things I would recommend when it comes to finding different things when you're burned out. It happens to us all, and if you don't want to force yourself to run, I think biking, strength training, or yoga are really good things to implement so you can still stay healthy and actually get some benefit, stay mobile, stay strong for when getting some benefit for when you do get back into running. So hopefully that helps. If you like content like this, I'm just trying to help people run and live better and enjoy the sport. If you like running stories and tips and tricks, shorter videos like this, if you feel called, hit that subscribe button. If not, I appreciate your time. I know it's valuable, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Peace.